We're here today because the Trump administration rolled back a rule on net neutrality through the Federal Communications Commission. It was a dangerous rollback for businesses, for individuals, for our country. Where the federal government won't stand up for consumers, state governments will. We know that net neutrality is a good idea and is something that is good for Connecticut's businesses, it's good for Connecticut's startups, it's good for Connecticut students, and it's good for the state in general. That's why I've introduced Senate Bill 2, an act concerning internet service providers and net neutrality principles.
The telecom industry spends more money lobbying than any other type of industry, and they do that because in many ways they want to keep control over the internet and over cable. So it's very lucrative for them. And so that bill was to say, look, you may have the lines, but you have to keep them free and open to the public. And here we are, 3 years later, with that great ruling for consumers being rolled back because of the Trump administration. So I'm excited that we're doing something in Connecticut that says, small businesses, we're going to think about you and the startups as much as we think about these big companies that also reside in Connecticut, because we have to keep the internet free and open and equal. In many ways, it's a new infrastructure for everyone. It's like a transportation infrastructure for ideas, and we have to keep it open, much like we keep the roads open. That's why Senator Duff's efforts are so important to keep Connecticut competitive.
Net neutrality was something I've been working for about 15 years. And to see it actualized and to be there and be part of it was so exciting. And, fast forward to December 14th of last year, not only did the Trump FCC repeal the rules, it completely abdicated the FCC's role in protecting consumers and competition when it comes to the broadband market. So the FCC has left a gaping hole, and today, Connecticut seeks to fill it. Senator Duff's legislation is common sense legislation that essentially reinstates, for the benefit of Connecticut consumers, the 2015 net neutrality rules. Half the states, more than half the states in the United States, are now trying to protect their citizens with net neutrality legislation.
If you go across senior centers across the country or for any household, we're concerned. We're concerned that we're not even going to be able to send a simple email anymore without having some advertising or having to pay for it or whatever it might be. This opens a door to bridges that we've never seen before. And for the large number of us who are relying on now these telephones that we never had before on our cell phones and on our computers, this is extremely difficult. It's important to have this restored and have it done right for the protection of all of us.
Keeping the internet and its content open and accessible is so important for our economy. And Connecticut has to make a decision. Where are we going to stand right now? Are we going to stand with consumers? Are we going to stand with small businesses? Or are we going to stand with big telecom and the Trump administration? We want to make sure that no matter who's sending the message, that everybody has an equal shot, and this is a democracy of ideas on the internet. So it's very, very important to keep it protected and open. And
we cannot wait to act. There are some who say, well, sit back, let Washington act. But the repeal has already happened. The rules have been published, and Connecticut consumers will soon be subject to an internet that can force them to pay extra to access certain websites, perhaps certain bundling the way we do packages with cable. And so there will be no rules that prohibit this kind of behavior because the FCC repealed them.